All right, guys, we're back in the second part of this video lesson. So in this section, we're going to talk about finding function values. Equations that are functions can be written in a form called function notation. For example, consider y equals 3x minus 8. You have the equation y equals 3x minus 8. In its function notation, you write something called f of x equals 3x minus 8. Now, well, in the last chapter we talked about, or earlier we talked about parentheses indicate multiplication. But when you're dealing with function notation, this f parentheses x, you do not think of it as f times x. You read it as f of x. And what it is it's just a fancy notation for y that is showing you what you're going to plug in for x. And I'll show you what that means in a second. So in a function, x represents the elements of the domain, f of x represents the elements of the range. Remember, f of x is just a fancy y. The graph of f of x is the graph of the equation y equals whatever f of x is equal to. So suppose you want to find the value in the range that corresponds to the element 5 in the domain. This is written f of 5. And is read f of 5. The value f of 5 is found by substituting 5 in for x in the equation. So for f of x equals negative 4x plus 7, this is means the same thing as y equals negative 4x plus 7. Okay, but it's just written in function notation. Remember, f of x is a fancy y. Now f of 2 means to substitute 2 in for x in the equation. So I substitute, see how it's just a little bit more descriptive than just plain old y, because it's telling you what to plug in for x and to figure it out. So you plug in negative 2, and you get negative 8 plus 7, which is negative 1. Oops, let me back up a second there. So this means that f of 2 equals negative 1. So that means, since f of 2 is a fancy y, that means y equals negative 1. So that implies that the point, the x value was 2 and negative 1. That would be the point on the graph if you had to graph this. Okay? Now, if I had f of negative 3 plus 1. So what does this mean? That means find the function value when x is negative 3 and then add 1 to it. So f of negative 3, you plug negative 3 into this equation and then add 1 to it. And I put braces around the negative 4x plus 7 because I want to figure that part out first and then add 1 to it, because the notation says find f of negative 3 and then add 1 to it. That's how you would read it. So in the brackets, you put negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, or excuse me, positive 12, plus the 7 gives you 19. So that's the value of f of negative 3. Then said add 1 to it. So plus 1 gives you 20. All right, here's a couple for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video and hit play when you're ready. Okay, we're back. So f of x equals 2x minus 3. So for part A, now you want to watch this very carefully. F of 1 means substitute 1 into the equation. So you would get 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. Okay? Now for B, it's 6 minus f of 5. Okay, so this is saying find the value of f of 5 and subtract it from 6. So over here, what I'm going to do is figure out the value of f of 5 first, which is going to be 2 times 5 minus 3, which is 10 minus 3, which is 7. Okay? So then I'm going to do 6 minus f of 5. Well, what was f of 5? F of 5 is 7, so that becomes 6 minus 7, which is negative 1. All right? It's just helpful if you get the values and then put them back in. All right, how about C, f of negative 2? F of negative 2 just means plug negative 2 into the equation. So 2 times negative 2 minus 3. That's going to be negative 4 minus 3, which is negative 7. Okay? Now for D, f of negative 1 plus f of 2. What I'm going to first do is figure out f of negative 1, which is 2 times negative 1 minus 3, which is negative 2 minus 3, which is negative 5. And then I'm going to also figure out f of 2, which is 2 times 2 minus 3, 4 minus 3, which is 1. And then I'm going to perform the operation with those. So I found the value of f of negative 1, that's negative 5, plus find the value of f of 2, which is 1, and then add those together. So you get negative 4. Okay? All right. Now, a function with a graph that is not a straight line is called a nonlinear function. So you'll probably have exponents and things like that. So if h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 68t plus 2, find each function value. And you can disregard this for a second. H of 4. Well, all that means is plug 4 into the equation and evaluate it. So you have to follow order of operations. So we're going to do exponents first. So 4 squared is 16, and then you would do the multiplication. Negative 16 times 16 is negative 256, and 68 times 4 is 272. I did a couple steps in the order of operations at once because I know you can handle it. All right, and then you add those all together, and you get 18. So 2 times h of g. All right, what's that mean? Well, that means replace the equation with g and multiply it by 2. So I'm going to plug g in for all the numbers, or for all the t values, rather. And that's, you can't figure it out because you don't know what g is. And then multiply everything by 2. So it'd be negative 32g squared plus 136g plus 4. All right. All right, so if I have f of t equals 2t cubed, find each function value. Go ahead and pause the video and hit play when you're ready. All right, we're back. So 5a, f of 4, you're going to substitute 4 in for the t value. So 4 cubed is 64. So you get to 56 there. Okay? Now 5b is 3 bracket f of t bracket plus 2. Now notice you're not plugging anything in for t, you're simply multiplying 3 times whatever f of t is, and you know it's 2t cubed, and then you're going to add 2 to it. So it'd be 3 bracket 2t cubed plus 2. Now notice the 3 only multiplies the f of t, not the 2, so you're not going to like distribute it to the 2 or anything like that. So this is just going to be 6t cubed plus 2. And that's your final answer for that one. Okay? All right. F of negative 5. So 2 times negative 5 cubed. Now negative 5 cubed is negative 125. All right? Be careful because you're cubing it. It's negative 5 times negative 5, which is positive 25 times another negative 5. All right? So multiply that by 2, and you get negative 250. Now, 5d, remember what I said, figure out the first one. So f of negative 3 is going to be 2 times negative 3 cubed. So that's 2 times negative 27, which is equal to negative 54. Figure out the other one, f of 1, which is 2 times 1 cubed. Now 1 cubed is 1 times 2 is 2. And then figure it out. So this is f of negative 3, which is 54. So let me put a little squiggle here. Negative 54, excuse me, minus the value for f of 1, which is 2. So negative 54 minus 2 is negative 56. Alrighty? Look good? Looks good to me. All right, guys, that's it for this section. Please continue on to your assignment. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions, and make it a great day. Take care.